And good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope that you are doing okay this morning. Um, Welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and share the video. But definitely hit the like button. It helps the video to generate. Share the video, and as I said again, subscribe. Also, if you would like to donate to the channel, there is a share button with a heart on it. You can click on that share button and donate. It would be greatly appreciated with the channel or to the channel. Today, I wanted to talk about um, some people are afraid of the rise of young Dolph's artists. And I'm up early, of course. So I decided to get on here and do this video before I got out in the field. Of course, it'll upload later. But I want us to talk about um, how some people are afraid of the rise of young Dolph's artists. We think about this young Dolph situation, and I think the reason, and I'm constantly saying this, that so many people are intrigued or um, interested in this young Dolph situation is because it has been happening. Situations like this, especially in the rap industry, has been happening. Um, and we have just been really passive about it. And when it happened to young Dolph, it was heinous in nature. It happened in broad daylight. Um, so many people was out there that actually saw what happened. And young Dolph was a international star, and he was going to get bigger. That's what a lot of people, they feared his rise. He was independent, and he he was getting money. He was getting paid, you know. And so I think even like me, because I'm not a real big, all this new rap, I don't know anything about. My daughters do, I don't. They had been listening to Dolph and Snoop bands and Key Glock uh, since this young Dolph situation. I've been paying attention to his music and his artists because I truly, want to see them win, and they are winning. Um, I think people are intrigued because they had the opportunity to start seeing, um, learning about who Young Dolph was and how he was a giving person and what he was doing for the community, and the fact that quietly, a lot of it was quietly, and the fact that he was gunned down uh, basically for nothing. And, all of the things that led up to this, and the fact that there were more than likely other rappers involved in this. So a lot of people are keeping their eyes on this closely, you know, and even with, Young Dolph being gunned down heinously as he was in front of everybody. There was a lot of people out there. So a lot of people witnessed that. That's why you saw a lot of vloggers being put on the internet to try and find them. They were paid, so that they can intimidate and witness tamper. Um, but even with all of that, there are still people that is afraid of the rise of his artists, right? Um, you know, with Young Dolph, he was building something, man. He was building something. He and Daddy O had built that from nothing. Daddy O initially funded Young Dolph. Okay, that's why you would never hear me say anything bad about Daddy O. It was a young man who knew them personally that got on my vlog, that lived in that area, and talked about how Daddy O stated he almost went broke in the beginning funding Dolph. And Daddy O has never been implicated in this situation with Dolph. I know that there are a lot of rumors about, young Dolph and Daddy O um, parting ways. No, Daddy O was a silent partner. They were business partners. And I'm sure business partners have squabbles, because my dad and I have been business partners for years, and we're daddy and daughter, and who Who argues, fusses, and fights more than us? We parted ways and then went into business doing something else different, completely differently. You know, just like with Young Dolph, my dad was the funder. My dad, with Daddy on and Dolph, my dad was the funder. He was the one with he's the one with the money, you know. Um, and he ultimately helped me to get my foot into something to help me to be able to um just like he was able to start building generational wealth for his children, he ultimately started planting seeds and helping us also, right? And just because people get into it, and all business partners, you know, I don't know why people act brand new all over the damn United States and outside of the United States have squabbles, but it does not mean that they were involved. Daddy O in taking out their business partner. Daddy O has always um, been quiet. If you listen to Dolph, he talks about how Daddy O was always wanting to be in the background. He never wanted to be up front. You know, Dolph was the person that was he was the you know, he was multiplying that money, that investment, you know. So, you know, and even before Dolph, I feel like because that everybody in the hood that knows Daddy O talk about how Daddy O got money for real. He got paid for real. So if he was getting paid before Dolph, if they decided to part ways, y'all don't think this man had made millions of dollars and probably got other investment? He goes up under the radar. I told y'all somebody was telling me in law enforcement that he's one of the ones that's scary because he goes undetected, and they were afraid he if there was going to be any retaliations, he would be the one that they would be afraid of because he's so quiet, right? Now, I'm not saying that he's retaliating, but I'm just saying my point is he's always gone under the radar and he always got money, you know. People talked about how he funded and nurtured and built Young Dolph and helped him. Young Dolph had the talent. God gave him the talent. Daddy O was able to fund that and helped to make that young man what he was, you know, all the way up until some people decided to plot and take him out. And even in his death, people are still afraid of his rise, and he's still rising. You know, they can't stop that. That's just a part of God's plan. What they did was they prematurely took out a young man, and they tried to play God, and God wasn't pleased. When he shook the earth that night, we had an earthquake. I knew some asses was gonna have to pay for that. He let them know he was not pleased. They were not God. They prematurely took him out. I don't ever feed into when people say, well, you know, that was just God's plan. I say, you telling a damn lie. That person that took them out ain't God. What are you talking about? That was God's plan. They were not God. So I don't understand that. So, you know, but even still, people are still afraid of the rise, they've taken him out. And it's sad when they took him out. You saw all of the smirks and all of the stuff that was on the internet. Everybody saw it. Even the people that's going to end up prosecuting them and judging them when there are a lot of them that are still out that are brought to justice. It was tacky and messy on so many levels. It was evil on so many levels. And still, they are afraid of the rise of his artists because he planted those seeds. He helped to plant those seeds. See, Dolph had Daddy O. Okay. A lot of people don't know that because, well, you know, Daddy O was so, he helped to build him. He said, Daddy O used to say, I'm going to have you so bossed up, it don't make no sense. Okay. So even though young Dolph probably had more of the creative mind, Daddy O is quiet. Nobody knows anything about him like that. He was very instrumental in that too. And they still have that. And better yet, they still have those seeds that young Dolph had planted in them. I was looking at Snoop bands the other day, and I was like, "Dog, you could see him getting that young Dolph swag." You know what I mean? Like you could see them just bossing up. Moochie Grape constantly putting out um videos, right? Kenny Money is one of the ones that kind of I think go up on the radar, but that boy is that he hustles. Everybody talk about how consistent he is. Okay. Paper Route Woo is one to look out for. Okay. Who else? Jay Fizzle rocking for real. But I'm gonna tell you something. They fear Key Glock more than anything. And there's a lot of people that have, wanted to, and I said I was gonna calm my little self down because I can't let nobody, I let them take me all the way back to when I was living in South Memphis in the 80s. I was being cussing like a sailor because one of my pet peeves is for somebody to think that they can bully me when I feel a certain way. I support Pre and I support Key Glock, I support Daddy, I support all of them. Okay. Because their names have not come up in anything. There have been some names to come up and it was never them. So I support them. I tend to believe what the authorities say, and I believe that whomever had a consistent pattern of trying to take Young Dolph out before, those it those it didn't change. They probably just got new faces, new people to help to line him up, right? Okay. Um, but I support them. And they are, and so when people think they're gonna come on my page to try, I feel like when you think you coming onto my page and you trying to say something to me about what I feel. If I say I support somebody, you trying to bully me or you trying to control me, and trying to control me makes me mad as an MF. Y'all know that. I don't like for people to try to control me. And when you call yourself gonna get at somebody for how they feel, because a person has a right to feel and support whoever they want, that's trying to control that person, that's trying to bully them into what you think they should be doing, that makes me mad than a motherfucker. Because I know it'd be some of these other vloggers with fake pages and their people, and they get mad, which means they have an agenda. So I'm gonna tell you in advance, if you got a problem with it, you and your fake pages kiss my ass, because it ain't gonna change nothing. I support them, and I'm saying that humbly. Okay. Because just like other people have a right to believe and say what they want, I got a right. And it's sad that because that some of these people have been put on a mission and paid to try and destroy that young man, because the people that is behind taking young Dolph out see, they like, damn, he was up under Dolph. They starting to see that, people talking about, well, he trying to be like young Dolph. Damn right, he should. Represent your goddamn boss to the fullest. And so now, because these people know that the folks know that they are behind this and learning about even more people that may have been behind this, they're going, dog, we done got caught up. They probably slick regretting because they ain't gonna get to enjoy being out after what they did to this boy. They saying, dog, they still got Key Glock out here that's receiving a lot of attention. And then too, he's representing Dolph. We can see a lot of he's starting to what's the word I'm looking for? Mimic or have a lot of Dolph's attributes that Dolph taught him he's supposed to. That's why he instilled that in him, just like little Trey would take what his father taught him. When you have a mentor, they are your mentor, and you start to have some of their attributes you're supposed to, because they're instilling and planting seeds in you. So I don't fault him, even though he has his own individuality. He's still gonna have and represent what Dolph taught him, and I would think these motherfuckers would want him to. Excuse my French. So a lot of these people that claim that they was truly for Dolph really ain't for Dolph, because they don't want to see his artists represent, and they don't want to see small little parts of his artists, or his artists show small little parts of or remind them of Dolph. Because that's what mentors do. Their mentees kind of remind you of them. You know when somebody has been mentoring somebody because they kind of have little small, little duplicate. They're like little things that their mentees do. They kind of do because that's what they're taught. So it makes me feel proud when I see that. I go, dog, taught them well. I see how Snoop Bands is rising. That boy is up next. I see how Moochie Great blazing on him, and Jay Fizzle is just off of the chain. Key Glock was up under him the most because I feel like he was hungry, and because people and their teams have gotten into some criminal shit that they ain't gonna be able to get out of because they took it too far when they started stuff they doing. They want to destroy every single thing that has Dolph's stamp on it, which is why they got some of these vloggers and some of their teams. They immediately went at Key Glock when that young man was not saying anything. He was in a depression. They was happy about that, but he said Daddy O started talking to him, and even he still when he talk about Dolph, he gets sad. Okay, he came out blazing, and the motherfucker said, "Dog, he gonna be another Dolph all over again." We got to send people out to attack him, and then with our people, it's that crabs in a barrel mentality. We get scared of anything that we feel like is going to be successful. We are a bunch of people that love success but hate on successful people, and we got to stop that because I want to see the young brothers win. Ain't nowhere in the hell I'm gonna have the same energy for Pre that I'm gonna have for some of these other Negroes that I've heard the authorities call out name because they already know what has happened. It ain't about finding out what happened. What happened? It's about tying them loose ends of those knots up tight so that they can win a conviction because they know what has happened. And then with all of this illegal other stuff that's going on, other people have added themselves in it, and then it forces them to start looking at that type of stuff too, y'all. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. I told y'all I mess with these people tough. Some of them. And it ain't because of this Dolph's case. It's because we rock because we've been friends. Okay? So to try and taint and yes, they watch everything that goes on the internet. And for those who gonna say, well, we solved their case, you ain't solved a damn thing. You couldn't possibly. You was put here to try and change the narrative in hopes that maybe some jurors would see this and you could taint the minds of the people, but it didn't work. It didn't work. That's the reason why they got themselves in more trouble coming after me. Okay? They got themselves in more trouble trying to find witnesses so that they can have them taken out or intimidated. Okay? But some people hated that young man so much that anything that reminds them of him, that's why I'm so glad that Mia is protecting her children because Trey is up next too. He is his dad. They want to take out that jealousy and envy. It's just got them rotten to the core. And guess what it has done? It has ultimately ruined their future as well as their children because their children are going to have to grow up without them. At least they're going to be in that prison. But Dolph can never get up out of his grave. And it's sad that they have allowed jealousy to do that to the point that they was even plotting, I'm hearing murder on some of his artists. If nothing else, that situation with Snoop Bands, I wasn't capping when I said somebody in law enforcement said, if them MFs touch him, they may as well go stand at that damn prison door and knock on it and say, let me in, because we're taking their asses down faster. And we ain't going to play with them. But it's sad when people, and that ain't cap, that's real. But it's sad when people are so jealous of this young man. Because everything that he was talking about that he was going to do, I see now he's inspired a lot of other people to do it. It ain't nothing about inspiring people, but how come they couldn't let him live to consistently inspire? It's enough room for everybody. And now they fear the rise of especially Key Glock. Key Glock is about 23, 24 years old. I have children that age. And so I understand that at some point he's going to be a force to be reckoned with as he matures, and he needs to put that cup down because I don't like that lean now. Okay. But he's going to be a force to be reckoned with as he matures. He has to grow. Dolph was probably about 12 years older than him. So he has to grow into what Dolph was. And a lot of people see that. I could tell Key Glock was sucking up all of the knowledge. Dolph truly wanted to pour into his artists. He wasn't slaving them. He was pouring into them, teaching them how to hard work produces long money. And even in his death, some people are afraid of the rise of because they want to destroy any and everything that he put a stamp on. And I can't understand how some of these people claim that they want justice for Dolph, but they try and tear down and destroy anything that he may have loved. See, I'm a thinker. I watch stuff like that. I don't get down like that. Although people can do and say whatever they want, but as for me, I support that because I know they didn't have anything to do with that. And I'm happy that they didn't go and crash out because when all of this stuff, when people was taunting his death, see, I can't understand how people can be mad at for holding their composure and not going and getting them crashing out, getting them sales and messing their lives up, and not be mad at the motherfuckers that was taunting Dolph and mocking his death. People look right over that. Everybody should have been outraged at that. Now, motherfucker, you won't get another download from me. I truly, especially these folks that claim that they cared about him and want justice for him, everybody should have been outraged and all that type of behavior. We ain't supporting you. You gonna mock Dolph? The way folks be hollering around here hollering about it's Dolph. No, motherfucker, it's Dolph for real. You're not gonna mock him and think we gonna support you. Instead, Key Glock just wanna be like him. But what about this nigga that just said, yeah, I did it all down at the grave with a shovel and everything else? You not mad at that? Key Glock wanna make some money. That's how our people is. But wait a minute, what about these folks said they did it? Didn't he learn the first time? Key Glock just want to be like Dolph. He went and got some jewelry. Yeah, then y'all learn the first time. Ain't mad at that. Ain't looking at that. Overlooking that. Mad at a young man because he grieving. And I guess they ain't grieving the way because when people don't like you and when they've been planted to tear you down, anything you do can never be right. Okay? And too often, our people take payouts from the enemy to tear down the future. That's why young Dolph is in his grave, because he represented the future. And I believe liberation, especially in the music industry, liberation from slavery. These other motherfuckers is slaves. And then they brought on a bunch of damn slaves on the internet to continuously try and tear this young man down. But they fucked up when they got into, or messed up, Lord forgive me for cussing, illegal stuff because they got too desperate. When they got into criminal things like plot and murder on here, y'all, and I'm serious. All to try and stop people from talking about young Dolph. And the people working with the very people that helped to take him out, as well as some more folks. The authorities know about all that. So it's a shame that some people still are afraid. They're using folks as puppets because as long as they can use these crackheads as puppets, they can still keep that same energy because they feel like it would never touch them. Everybody else is gonna get knocked down, which means they don't give a damn about the people that's doing it. The Fed's gonna knock them down. It'll never touch me. Yes, it is gonna touch you because you've been identified. You ain't your damn crackhead puppets. All because they don't want to see these young men be great. And they're gonna be great because it's all over them. Dolph is stepping in the spiritual. It is imminent. They can't help but be great because greatness was instilled on the inside of them from the original himself. And that was Dolph before he left here. That's why God didn't let them kill him when they was trying to kill him. The first couple times they was hunting him down like an animal. And then you got people on these very people are able to pay folks that'll do anything to include set people up in hopes of I'm going up. You're not going up. They grin at these people and set them up. They act like they're for Dolph, but they're not. They've been put here to try and change the narrative, to bait you in, and then go straight at his artist. His artist ain't had a damn thing to do with it. And I can promise you that. So that's why I stand firm on mine. Because if I felt like if I had heard anything about those artists, if somebody had said, nah, baby, that's a little shady right there, I'd back up. I ain't even got to say nothing, but nah, baby, that's a little shady without giving details. That's a little shady right there. I wouldn't say a word. I wouldn't even touch on it. But those young men didn't do that. Those young men have been looked at. Those young men didn't do that. Daddy O didn't do that. But now I have heard some other names called, and I've heard, yeah, baby, you on the right track, right on that one. So it's sad when people are still fearing the rise of his artists. Okay. Okay. And I don't know everything. I don't ask because I understand how deep this case is. Anytime you got two different damn federal agencies on this case, you can only imagine how deep it is. And it wouldn't be good to know everything. I'm talking about as far as people on the outside. But it's sad when people are still fearing the rise of his artist. And his artists are gonna be great. They already are. They rocking. They rocking 100. They going straight up and they doing it independently. And it makes me proud because they're representing what Dolph left behind. He left those nuggets behind for them. I was listening to Paper Route Wu and Snoop Band's still interview right before Dolph was assassinated. They was talking about Dolph in the interview, and they was like, "Man, we knew him way before because they lived in the same neighborhood. They all grew up in the same neighborhood." They was like, "That man, he a genius. He a genius." You could tell they was just in awe of him. They don't have a history of trying to take him out. They don't. And people want to know why they didn't spend. Why would they go out there and why if they because they know a little bit more than what y'all what they live in the neighborhood. I'm sure they have heard it. They had to sit there quietly and listen to these people mock their mentor and boss in silence because they knew who was all on this case. They already know what was going on as far as the authorities being all over this. Why would they go out there and take themselves away from the family? That's what them MFs wanted. And they so evil, they knew they had security, that if they was spending, it would have been the little dudes around them. They put the little dudes around them in danger because they don't give a damn about nobody but themselves. They wanted those young men to go be crash dummies so that because they represented the future of pre, and if they had went and became crash dummies, it would have fallen. Dolph's legacy would have dissipated. That's all they wanted. That's why that anger came up when Snoop Bands finally got mad and said something, because they've been holding all this stuff in forever while these folks disrespected them and their boss and stuff. So finally, when he finally said something, you had folks, it gave the authorities the opportunity to see just how evil some of these folks was. As if you got the nerve to say something to me, I'd drop you like I did your boss. I think Snoop made a smart move because it made people show their hand for real. Okay. And people are still afraid of their rise. I think at this point now, and I could just, and nobody has told me this, I could just feel this energy that folks are starting to see, you know, starting to become desperate. But they should have had that same energy before they participated in taking a young man out. And I'm sure it was more than one thing that played a major part in taking him out. I'm sure it was. I don't know. But I know one of the things was his vision. It was his vision. So they had to kill him physically to kill his vision. And when they see Key Glock and all of them representing that vision and carrying on that legacy, it makes them mad as hell. They go, damn, we done put him in the grave, and and we still seeing it. He left it behind for it to continue on. Why wouldn't we want that to continue on? And so it's making these ones that's preparing to go to jail mad, because they're saying we did all that for nothing, because they continuing his legacy on. They should have left him alone. They would have just been better off, them and their damn kids, if they had just left him alone. And there's a lot of other folks that's doing criminal stuff on this internet that is involved in this. They put themselves in it when they started doing illegal stuff. They would have fared better if they had just kept it on wax and made money off of the records and left him alone. Now they want to destroy his artist. And once again, I'm gonna say this: I can say any damn thing I want to. Me, because don't nobody run me but God. And now my mom and dad, I do what they say do, because I've always mind when I wasn't talking back. But ain't nobody else gonna run me. I say I support them. You support who you want to. I support them because I know they didn't have anything to do with it. But it's a damn shame that a lot of people are still afraid of their success and their rise. And they don't show that same energy to, if nothing else, hell, let's just say, because we don't, I don't know who was all involved. We don't know for sure who was all involved, but we know that there was a history of trying to take him out. I'm mad about that. I'm mad at, I can't be mad at these young men for carrying on and not going and destroying their lives, because some of them have children and they know the authorities is all over that. That's a damn oxymoron. Why in the hell would they be out there wreaking havoc? And they know the feds and everybody else is watching everything. Why would we want to lead a bunch of young men to a burning damn house? Okay. But their rise is imminent. It ain't gonna stop nothing. They still going up. They ain't where they gonna be. But if they stay consistent, they still going up. And they have been consistent so far as we can see. God is all over that. I mean, that can't be stopped. But it's a shame before God how some people are still afraid of their rise. And it's all because it has Adolf's stamp on it. It was his. They want to destroy his legacy. And God ain't gonna let that happen. They should have just left him alone. And now there are real deep repercussions for what they did. And they know it. And they saying, damn, we done took him out and his stuff is still going on. It's still rising. At least before I go to jail, I want to destroy it. And God ain't gonna let it happen. God is in this. And it ain't gonna be no more destruction as it relates to that. But it will. God is getting ready to take down the rest of these people. They should have just left him alone. And that ego of theirs will not allow them to leave his artists alone. And so God is stepping in to make sure that they are left alone. Because the feds get ready to start knocking them down. Okay, you guys, I've gone on almost 40 minutes. I was up early because I gotta go out on a case, you guys. But I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please, please, please hit the like button. If you like to share, please share. Also, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all of the subscribers that I have. My subscribers absolutely rock. You guys make this channel what it is, and God is so good. He's bringing in people with like minds, and when I say that, that are just mature and laid back. I have a mature audience, right? Y'all just rock over here, and the conversation is off the chain. A lot of the people that's in the woods that don't subscribe, but they got on the notifications, a lot of them come to see what y'all gonna say because y'all absolutely rock. A lot of people stop by the channel for my subscribers, right? Because y'all make the channel what it is. I really appreciate that. If you all would like to donate to the channel, you can donate via Cash App, or you can hit the thanks button with that little heart on the that's right here up under the video. I want you all to have a happy Tuesday. I love you all. Talk to you later.